Alright guys, welcome to the channel once again. Today's video is going to be a little different than out on the water, hauling in fish, fish tips, stuff like that. As the title says, boat ramp etiquette is on tap for today. Normally I wouldn't make a video like this. It's not really my style, my kind of thing. But I've been asked by at least 3 people now to kind of go over some of this stuff on a video, just so we got it out there. I know there's other videos on YouTube. You can Google boat ramp etiquette and find quite a few on the subject, but I've had some friends ask me to give my take on it and actually tell about what I've seen at our local ramps. And so here we are talking about boat ramp etiquette. And for a lot of us that have fished in tournaments for years and years, boat ramp etiquette is just common sense, commonplace. It's just ingrained in us that we show up to the ramp, we know what to do. We get in, we go fish, and we don't think anything about it much until we get somebody on the ramp that is new or just plain rude or doesn't know what to do. And that's when we think about it, because personally I learned years and years ago when I fished local John boat tournaments over on Lake Catoma, which many of you that watch me are familiar with Lake Catoma. When I first got my John boat, I remember going fishing the first tournaments and just being totally embarrassed that I wasn't good at backing a trailer, or I didn't know how everything worked and all that. I would actually go to the ramp early. I'm talking about 30 minutes early before most people would show up, and I would get my boat put in the water before the crowd got there. And as I got more and more involved in it, and back then we fished every Friday night, and I think we fished every Monday night most of the time. It doesn't take that long from simply watching how the other guys, your other fishermen that you're fishing with and against, how they do things. And I guess I learned a little bit from each of them as I watched them, some of them with a partner, some of them without a partner, how they all managed to have a routine to get in, get their truck out of the way. And that's how these tournament guys are. They're used to this of showing up. So let's say the tournament blast off was going to be at 6. Most of those guys didn't get there till 5 o'clock in the afternoon or in the morning, depending on if it was a day or a night event. And by 6 o'clock you might have 25 or 30 boats back then. Everybody's ready to go. And it's just amazing how they all work together. It's just because they're ready, they're prepared, and they're informed about what they were doing. And I learned what I know from them. And a big credit to the old timers that were old timers at the time I started for actually helping people like me. But it's been, as I fish around, we've got a new lake now. Duck River Reservoir is a tremendous fishery. We got guys that have been fishing for 30 years coming over here now fishing. We've got brand new people that have never been on the water trying to put in. And same goes with Lake Catoma. Coleman County's blessed with a lot of great fisheries. We've got Smith Lake, we've got Duck River, we got Catoma, Little Hidden Gem, Ingram's Lake. We got all these little lakes, Lake George. And most of these places has a good, except for the Ingrams, has good areas where you can actually get ready, get your boat ready, get your kayak ready before you get to the water, and then you're able to back in. And that's something that I see a lot of new people, not the tournament guys. this really isn't even for you guys. You guys understand where I'm coming from. But if you're new, this video is definitely something that you ought to watch and listen to. The ramp is not the place to get ready. It is simply where to put your boat in the water and move out of the way and let the next person in. And getting in the habit of let's start with the kayakers. That's the culture and the club and the deal that I'm involved in right now. Um, we rig our stuff mostly after we get to the lake because just of the way it is. A lot of my stuff is bolted on my kayak. I trailer my kayak, so I back in and out just like a regular boat. But at the same time, everything is not fastened on my rods. I don't trailer my rods down the road sticking up or anything. So I still have a lot of stuff to put on my boat once I'm at the lake. The idea is stay out of everybody's way. You can do it in the parking lot. You can be on the side of the road. All these parking lots are different. Katoma's laid out different than the Duck. Got two different ramps at the Duck, and they both have areas that you can actually rig and prep your kayak or your boat away from the ramp. On the ramp is not the place. Other guys are coming in. You got John boat guys. You got other kayakers that are ready to go. And if you're on the ramp piling stuff in your boat or fastening things on or making trips to the truck, you're in the way. There's no sugarcoating it to it. You're just flat out in the way. And coming back in from a fishing trip, same way. You need to be, which I'm not saying everybody's entitled to use the ramp, but how you use the ramp shows a lot of decency and common courtesy, and that goes such a long way among this whole fishing culture. How you treat others on the water, how you treat them at the ramp. Respect is earned, and common sense goes so far in this world, and simply doing things on the ramp that you could do away from the ramp, out of the way, it's just not the way to go. It costs so much. I mean, and the guys around here, they may or may not always say anything. Some of these other ramps, you get to Gunnersville or somewhere, or Wheeler, and you may take a cussing. I've not seen a lot of that go on here local, but I have seen the grumbling and the people 2 or 3 trucks deep waiting on a kayaker or waiting on a new boater because they're doing all their prep on the ramp or when they come in. This is another thing that I have seen more than actual prepping on the ramp. It's when they come in from fishing, they'll park in the middle of the ramp, go find their truck, do everything on the ramp, and then when they leave out, they're ready to go home because they don't have anything left to do. They did it all on the ramp, and man, what that does is cause so much bad blood. I know every situation is different. We all have different watercrafts. We have different items we put in our boats, and some things have to be handled differently. But if you're trailering your kayak, you can most definitely pull that thing up, secure it, and pull out of the way. Same goes with a boat. Pull it up, latch it, get out of the way. There is no reason to strap down on the ramp. I see this one a lot. They pull up on the ramp, they pull the plug. Sometimes some of these boats take on a little water. They think they have to do all that on the ramp till all the water runs out. That's crazy. You pull that plug once you're up out of the way, and on your way home, that water's going out of your boat. Moving stuff from the boat to the truck, separating from your partner's gear, letting him walk his stuff back to his truck. That's a no-no. That causes bad blood right there on the ramp, and it's not courteous. It's not a decent thing to do. Um, I see people all the time have, sometimes they might have a little issue on the ramp. Now, that's, we're all going to have problems, and we may get in a situation like that. That's completely different. You may have a latch break or something. You may get your boat on crooked if you're new, and people will come to help if you need it. That's okay, but intentionally tying up the space, that's a no-no. uh, there's somewhere else to do that stuff. There's somewhere else for prepping. There's somewhere else that you can break everything down and get ready to go home, other than actually on the ramp. I know this is a big rant. It's not really meant to be a rant. It's meant to inform. I'm not mad. I didn't come off the water because I saw something going on. But when the third person asked me to kind of speak on this, I said, I'm going to go ahead and do it. I said, it's probably not going to be a great video, but evidently some people wanted to hear it. Another thing that I have seen personally is guys will bring their boats to the ramp and work on their motor. It's not your own personal mechanic shop. Uh, you can work on a boat motor away from the lake. You can have it in a barrel. You can have the hoses connect to the motor. You can get water to that motor, and you can do all that work somewhere besides tying up the public boat ramp. I can understand backing in and maybe your motor doesn't crank, but I have also seen 2 or 3 times in the last year where somebody has backed down a ramp to work on their motor, and then I just thought they were trying to get it to run. Well, when they got it to run, and they strapped her all back down and left. It's not your personal mechanic shop. It's where other people are coming in and out, and you're taking up space that's causing the flow to be disrupted. You're causing some bad blood, I'm telling you, and if you haven't ran into that yet, and you're guilty of that, you will eventually. Kayakers, like I said, I'm in that group. I have a very nice fishing kayak. Once we're, in my case, I trailer it, so my boat's ready. When I back it in, it's like I backed in my old John boat. Everything's there. Pull it to the side, out of the way, so when I move my truck, or my van in my case, my old beater van, somebody else can back their trailer in. This needs to be common practice. I've seen kayakers pull up, unload 1 or 2 at a time, leave them in the middle of the ramp, go up to the top of the hill and park, and all that time you got guys lining up waiting. Don't do that. Move out of the way. Be courteous. It takes us about 10 seconds to move our kayaks out of the way of the ramp. And what we're doing, if we're leaving it in the way, is we're keeping that kayak boater bad blood seemingly going. They're always saying, "Oh, we're in the way." And some of us are in the way. Can't deny it. I've watched it happen. I've also watched boaters do the same thing. They'll back in and leave their boat actually on the concrete part of the ramp and go park their truck. It's a no-no either way. It's common courtesy to not do stuff like that. I don't understand how people weren't raised better, or just don't know that, man, I shouldn't do this. Early in the morning, late in the evening, as sun's coming up or sun's going down and you got your headlights on, if you're on one of these ramps that allows more than one vehicle to back down, you want to always try to remember to cut your headlights off, or at least run down to your parking lights or whatever. So the next person, if he's got room, you're not blinding him so he can see how to back in. this is not something that we deal with too much over here on the Duck. Well, I know we don't deal with it much on Lake Catoma because it's a single ramp. Smith Lake Park, I've seen that. Your ramps in Gunnersville, I have seen them, and people can't back in even though there's space because they can't see back there with these big high beam headlights on. It's just a common courtesy. Common courtesy goes such a long way. Like I said, not trying to be ugly or mean or rant. It's just some things that people have brought to my attention they wanted me to mention. Who knows that the person that you were kind to on the ramp that morning may have to tow you in one day or that day. I've seen people on the ramp be rude before and then have to be towed in by somebody on that same day. Probably a very uncomfortable feeling. But you know, be courteous, be kind, treat the ramp and the people on the ramp with respect. It's like doing to others as you would have them do unto you. You wouldn't want to sit if you were ready to back in or unload your boat. You wouldn't want to spend 25-30 minutes waiting on a family of four to put all their stuff back in their truck so they can go home or whatever. It's something that needed to be talked about. I just really hate putting these out because I know it's not really going to help my channel as far as growing. But if one person sees it, one person realizes, man, he was talking about me, I can do better than that. If it changed one person at the ramp, then I will have done my job. I hope I don't lose people over it. I'm not trying, like I said, not trying to be mean, not trying to be ugly, just trying to inform that there's a right way and a wrong way to do these things. And the better we try to make it on the water, the better experience it is for all of us. We all have the right to use the ramp. We all have the right to use the lakes as long as we're abiding by the rules and the laws. We have some tremendous fisheries and these rules and laws and common courtesies that are in place. They're all there for reasons to make the experience better for all of us. That's all I got. I know that's long-winded. It's a lot of stuff. Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting me and my channel. I will see you guys on the water. Stop by. Talk to me on the water. I don't care. I don't care if my camera's running and you come by and say, hey man, I watch your video. That thrills me to death. It happens all the time. I see you guys at the ramp. You talk to me at the ramp. You tell me you watch my videos. Makes my day. Don't ever think that bothers me. It does not bother me for you guys to approach me wherever. If you come up while my camera's running, though, I'm going to tell you may get a cameo on one of my videos. Unless you just say, hey, don't put me on there, then I won't. But hey, thanks for watching. Be safe. Be courteous. If you know that this could help someone you know, share the video. Like and comment. If you've seen it, put in the comments. Tell me what you've seen on the water. If you didn't like it, you can tell me that too. That's fine. Comments, they drive the algorithm, which grows the channel. Thanks, guys. I'll see you on the water, and I'm out of here.